Well, it's very quiet here at Tinnaut, and this is up in the Scottish Highlands. Lovely view along there. There's only a couple of trains along here each day as far as I understand, so they won't mind if we stand in the middle of the track. It's a lovely view along there, isn't it, eh? Absolutely gorgeous. We come to this village because there are one or two interesting places. There's some old furnaces across the loch, there's a quarry, I understand there's a monument and some nice scenery, so we thought we'd come here and just have a look. That's looking down, that's looking towards Oban. We're halfway between Crianlarich and Oban. Well, here we have the main street. This is just up from the station, which is down there. I don't know whether that's John with his back to us or Peter.
John.
It's John. There you go. So we shall eventually be going that way. And the buildings here are built of local Crucian stone, I understand, if I've pronounced it right. And that is looking back down towards the A85, which runs from Crianlarich or Tindrum up to Oban, right alongside the railway line all the way. Well, that, as you can see, is the War Memorial, and across the road, this is on the main A85, we've got the Tinnaut Hotel, which is an old coaching inn. Well, we've just come up the hill, and up here we've got the Tinnaut Primary School, but what we've come up for really is just to have a look at this church. Unfortunately, it's lost its bell. Well, it looks as if they only have one service a week, and that's Sunday 11:30 p.m. AM, sorry. And there's the scenery that the church overlooks. Very nice. Right up on the hill there, if you can see them, is a wind farm. Very nice, very quiet, very peaceful. And I have my two assistants here. They're very sad, these two assistants, because I haven't brought my camera bag and they usually like to carry that. I don't think I've ever seen the grass of a churchyard kept so beautiful as this is. It's as good as any garden lawn. Beautiful it is, look at that. And look at the backdrop of this church. Right, this is walking up now. It does say over a stile, but a lady's just told us that the stile has long since gone. And this takes us up to Nelson's monument. Well, we're assuming that that is Nelson's monument up there, and to the left here is a very large house. So it's all uphill from here. Mind you, it's a beautiful morning. Absolutely beautiful. Whoops. You could quite easily slip on this wet grass. Hasn't been raining, it's just the early morning dew. We're slipping on the early morning dew to come up here and enjoy this gorgeous view. Look at this. Oh wow. I can hear a train. That's a train to Oban. Well, that speaks for itself, really. 1805, and it is quite a big stone. I'll show you the size of the stone from the ground in a moment. Just have another little look at the scenery. I just love this Scottish scenery. Two old pensioners sitting down there, look. Morning, gents. There you go, there you can see the size of the stone. It is on a mound from which you can enjoy all the beautiful scenery around. Absolutely gorgeous. Well, naturally, I don't have to tell you that we're standing on a railway bridge, but I just have. So that's looking again towards Oban, and I was standing in the middle of the tracks when I took the earlier shot when we first arrived. We're walking down this country road and going to look for other places of interest, and this is looking towards Tindrum, Crianlarich. Just beautiful scenery. That's looking back up to the village, and just here we have a very nice village hall. Couple of nice properties there, and we're going to continue down the lane past someone who's standing over there waiting to be taken away, I think, waiting for the refuse lorry. Well, in the notes that I'm following regarding this village walk, it says the Chuckling River Nant. So we'll just pass over the other side and have a look at it from this side. Lots of safety grills on the railings to stop children falling in. Not that deep at the moment. Quite pleasant. And I'm not the only one who goes on a bike, look. We thought for a minute that was the name of another village we were entering, but that is actually the street name. Once again, that lovely backdrop, the clouds just wisping the top of the hill there. I think there's a church up there where we're heading. Well, crossed by telephone cables, unfortunately. This is the Roman Catholic Church at the top of the hill. Have a look at these figures on the pillar here at the side of the door. Well, it's nice to find the church door open, and it's just a nice, quiet, small village church. Timber roof. Look at that. Well, I just come down the road a bit. There's a new housing scheme being put up here, and you will note that none of these guys are wearing helmets, no safety gear whatsoever. They're crawling up and down the roof. No fencing round to protect the property from vandals. Says it all, doesn't it? We're heading down towards the lock now, past these colour-washed properties. Well, it says that Loch Etive opens up before us as we walk down the country lane, and that is our first view of it. Well, the walks brochure does say look for this sign. It looks like a wheel trim, doesn't it? And probably is. Well, that's Loch Etive again, and we're heading down to a pier. And hopefully we'll get even a better view across the loch. Just taking a picture of these. Every time I see blackberries I think of Ernie. So there you are, Ernie. These are, if you come up here in about a week's time, these will all be ready for you. These are all just growing by the side of this lane. Look at that. There's John just disappearing round the corner. Oh, it's so lovely down here. Or even up here in Scotland, and down here by the lake or loch. Like so many places surrounding lochs, this area is very boggy. I don't think I'd want to venture down there. Right, this is Kelly's Pier, and this pier was built and used in conjunction with the quarry workings across Loch Etive. And the boats used to bring the stone across the loch and unload it here on this pier, and I don't know, there's no mention of what they used to cart it away, probably horse and cart. Whether they used the railway or not is unclear. There's two quarry workings over there, one you can't see at the moment. But that must have been, what, the very early 1800s, because it all finished in about 1890 something. Lovely and quiet and peaceful now. No explosions from the quarry working at all. Must have been very noisy and quite dangerous. Stone was used to build local houses. Nice little bit of breeze today, just to keep us cool. Sunny, few light fluffy clouds in the sky. So that is a complete circle. You're not allowed to even throw a stone on this pier. It is a criminal offence. So we'll just go back round to the quarry and that's it. There you are. Well, we've left Kelly's Pier and we're passing Shore Cottage, and this lovely little cottage won for its owner, Mrs. Lily McNaught, the Egon Ronay Tea Room of the Year Award in 1989. And the lady travelled to the Ritz in London to receive her award. But it's doubtful, they say, whether she got better tea there than what she got at the Ritz, than what she could make at home. There you are, this is the lady herself who went to the Ritz in London.
That's right.
There you go.
That's right.
Okay, so we proceed a little bit further and we've got the Benawi furnace cottages. Don't know what the Benawi furnace is, not quite sure at the moment what it produced, but we'll go up and have a look along this lane. Right, okay, so we're going to have a look round this furnace now. And we go up that path there through the trees. Well, I'm going to let you read this, if you're quick enough. You probably read it a lot quicker than what I can read it out to you. But look at that, going right back to 1753. Dead quiet here. I can just hear a couple of birds twittering in the tree. Right, you read all that? Well, there's the first picture of the furnace then. Oh. Looking at one of the lads there, you can just give you some idea of how big this furnace is. We're just wandering around the site now, looking at some of the buildings. These have obviously been renovated. They wouldn't look this good if they had been left on their own since 17 something. This is a display inside one of the sheds where they stored the charcoal. There were byproducts. That's a view, I don't know, somewhere down on the lock. But of course all this is years and years ago. I don't know whether that's an artist's impression. And this is how they reckon, gives you some idea of how they stored the charcoal, which kept the furnaces going. And all the charcoal came from the trees and from the surrounding area. This just gives you some idea of how they did it all. Coppicing and coaling, you see. Well, quite interesting, really. This is one of the sheds where they stored the charcoal, which they used in the furnaces. huge sheds. No safety helmets and things used here when they built this. Well, we should have come up here first. This is number 1. We've just been looking at number 2, but this gives you there's where we started our walk actually, and we went right down there and went on the quay, or the pier as they call it now. Or did we go? No, I'm not exactly sure. There's a school listed on there. Didn't see that, so we must have gone to that quay there, which is now called the pier. Not quite sure, but anyway, it's a very, very good plan. This is very good indication of the size of this place. Manager's house, reservoirs, workers' housing, charcoal shed. That's where we've just been, the charcoal sheds. So there you go, and that's what you would have seen, exactly what we're looking at now if you stood here a couple of 100 years ago. Right, cast your mind back to 1753. Little exhibition area here. This is another charcoal storage shed, or was. And they've made this into an exhibition room. Thing is, with these exhibition rooms, putting it onto video, it would take too long. But this gives an indication of where other works were around the country. There's the one we're at. We're about 90 miles from Glasgow, actually, 90 miles north of Glasgow. So we just pop down the steps here. Some nice scenes, look. This was the furnace community. I suppose that was the boss's house. And that was the workers' housing. And this is telling you how they're attempting to preserve everything. Very nice picture there, look. Right, okay, so we'll go back out, and my two friends there patiently sitting on the seat waiting for me. Right, we're walking now into the charging house where they used to charge the furnaces, and there's a few artifacts here. Just all to create the impression of 1750 something, wasn't it? 1753. Quite deep down there, look at that. Wow, I can't see, but the camera can. I'm holding the camera out. Couple of men here working away, look. Quite incredible, isn't it, really? All cobbles on the floor. Must have been most uncomfortable for working. So there you go. My friends have gone back on the seat again, look. I think we're wearing them. We're going that way, are we? Okay. I think we're going back down now. I think that's about it. Isn't it? Oh, look at this down here. Wow, look. Oh, we've got a number 5 then. Yes, number 5. These lads know what they're at, look. Some steps down here. Oh, 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 oh. Aha. Laid the waters from the river Ore 1 kilometre away were carried along this channel and onto the cast iron water wheel which powered the blowing apparatus. Well, how about that? So that's what we were looking down at, I should think, when I held the camera out. Not much water coming down there now, is there? So there you go, that's where we were inside a moment ago. And I'm just going to turn the camera around, and as we leave this site we look across at the workers' cottages and the beautiful backdrop of the mountain. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this visit to Tinnaut and this works around here and all the beautiful scenery. This is going to be our last scene, and what a beautiful one it is. So, you never know, you'll perhaps be out and about with us again very soon.